joined the Navy during, joined the Navy in 2003 with F-14 squadron. So I was kind of, the first couple of years, I was kind of involved in like the old school type of military, you know, via Tomcats. And then about midway through, we decommed them, and then we got transitioned into the new Super Hornets with, you know, this kind of post 9/11 Navy and military. And the type of atmosphere is night and day. Prime example, E4 and E5, back when I was under the Tomcat squadron, you know, they kind of had beef with each other. Well, what they did, the senior supervisor just kind of filtered them into a shop and said, all right, you guys got to, you know, beef with each other. You know, let's lock the doors and you guys handle it so we can get on to, you know, bigger and better things.
What does the E4 designation really mean, by the way?
It's third-class petty officer in the Navy. It's the fourth highest rank. So you go in as a private E1, and then you work up E2, E3, E4. So it's kind of like the lowest supervisor position, and then E5 sergeant. All right,
Rick, we gotta go to break. I appreciate your insight and your information on that. Appreciate your call. We are going to continue with details of this, what looks like a false flag shooting event in the Sikh temple. Stay with us here on the Alex Jones Show. We'll be right back. Okay, all right, folks. I am mapping out what I think is the agenda here. This is consistent with what Alex Jones has been explaining. And I want to get an overhead cam shot for those watching on Prisonplanet.tv. See if you can show this document. Let me get this other stuff out of the way. All right, right here. Yeah, there we go. So here's the deal. Here's how this works. This is the plan that Alex has been explaining is in the minds of government. First, we start with stage shootings. That's the false flag shootings. That's Aurora, Colorado. That's what's happening today in Wisconsin at the Sikh temple, or, well, yesterday. This then leads to a disarmament mandate because problem, reaction, solution, Hegelian dialectic, right? A very common thing. People call for getting rid of all the guns. This then doesn't work because we've got lots and lots of people in America who will not give up their guns, who know that giving up their Second Amendment is the path to slavery. So we're going to end up with a shooting war or a civil war at that point. Now, that's what the globalists want. That's what they want, because after that happens, what comes in is foreign troops to do the mop-up, right here, the mop-up operation. Foreign troop mop-up operation. After the people have shot it out with law enforcement or National Guard or whatever the case may be, then the foreign troops come in and take over. And after that mop-up, what do you end up with? Which is the actual goal. NATO, UN control over everything. That's the goal right there. Global government control in a disarmed nation that used to be called the Republic, the United States of America. So do you see how this spiral of violence, this spiral of destruction, this spiral of stripping away rights actually works? It starts with the stage shootings, and it ends up with government control over America, which is then disarmed and now divided into FEMA regions, the 10 FEMA regions with their own FEMA governors, most of the population herded into the FEMA camps. And there we go. That's what we're headed towards. So our goal here at Infowars.com is to stop this process, to reverse it, to stop the violence, to stop the stage shootings, to stop the government terrorism against the people, to restore liberty, to restore a peaceful society where power is distributed among the many. You see, this is a basic tenet of democracy. If you concentrate power into the hands of the few, you end up with a dictatorship. You end up with communism or fascism, depending on which country it is and what their philosophies are. But concentration of power is always, always, always bad. It is the distribution of power that leads to a free society, the distribution of power that leads to a just society, that leads to a liberty, that leads to innovation and a good economy and all of these things that make nations great. So when you see calls for disarmament, that is a concentration of power into the hands of the few, the corrupt, the criminal elements of the government. A true democracy, or a republic, better yet, must have firearms distributed into the hands of all of the people who don't have, criminal histories or violent criminal histories or psychiatric problems, but law-abiding citizens who are honorable, who are peaceful, who have good philosophies, who are neighborly, community-minded, let's protect ourselves and our communities. All of those people need to have firearms to have the distribution of power. Hence the Second Amendment. That's what it's all about. It's not about sport shooting. It's not about hunting. It's not about plinking at the local target range. It is about having a distribution of power so that if a government goes bad, and every government eventually goes bad, that the people have the ability to stand their ground and demand their constitutional freedoms and their constitutional rights against the invasion of a corrupt, criminal, communist-oriented government that is trying to kill them. That's what the Second Amendment is all about. Now, I know if you're a regular Alex Jones listener, you already know that. So I'm probably just telling you what you already know. But a lot of people don't get this, or they need to hear it again. And so, especially in the context of all of these shootings taking place, which look to be staged, we need to educate each other about why the Second Amendment matters so much and why the ownership of firearms by law-abiding citizens is so crucial. Stay with us. A lot more straight ahead here on The Alex Jones Show. We'll be right back with much more. Stay with us.
We're on the mark.
Here's the deal. And by the way, you are listening to The Alex Jones Show. This is Mike Adams, the Health Ranger, filling in for Alex today. And thank you for joining us. Here's the deal. All right, these shootings, Aurora and the Wisconsin Sikh temple shooting, they have everything in common. And I was just talking with Rob Jacobson here during the break, and he's got a theory that I think makes a lot of sense. Well, I don't know if he's not betting all his cards, all his money on this theory, but he's saying, what if there were 4 shooters involved, as witnesses already said? What if the local police actually responded more quickly than was anticipated by the shooter team, and that the police showed up and actually ended up shooting this guy? What's his name again? Wade Michael, what's his name? What's his last name? Anyway, the shooter here at the Sikh temple. What if Page, right? Wade Michael Page. Sorry, it's an odd name, It's like 3. Anyway, what if he was not supposed to get caught? What if he was supposed to evacuate the scene with the other 3 shooters? They were supposed to get away, and this actually was a psychological operations mission that he was on. Just like Jason Bourne, right? Sheep-dipped people, that he really wasn't out of the Army, as is claimed, that he was actually part of a special operations unit, a PSYOP unit, who took part in the shooting, was supposed to get away, but a skilled local cop who actually has tactical training, I read, above and beyond the normal tactical training that officers get. This is, I think, a 20-year veteran of the force there, something like that. He shows up, shoots the guy dead before he can get away. And so this guy, Wade Michael Page, wasn't supposed to get caught because his background is so obvious. It's so obvious that this is a PSYOP. If he got caught, it would just be too obvious for the public to know the truth that this is a psychological operation. But he got shot, and now his background comes out. So once again, the false flag starts to unravel. They've messed it up. How many of these can they try to pull off, and how many mistakes are they going to make as they keep getting sloppy? Maybe they just weren't counting on local cops showing up and being competent as this officer was. So this could be a case where we have that police officer to thank for actually killing one of the PSYOP instigators, the people carrying out the mission, so that his background could be revealed. But of course, then they're going to just try to paint him as a white supremacist to eliminate any kind of talk that he might have been part of a psyop. Anyway, that's a working theory. As everything is here today, that's a working theory. It's not necessarily true. It's something that we are discussing. This is an investigation. This is a dialogue. So that's what we're doing right now. Let's continue that dialogue with our callers. TJ in Minnesota, a Navy and Army vet, is on the air. TJ, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Health Ranger Mike, are you there? Over.
I am right here. 10-4. Go ahead. Go ahead. What?
Bless you and Alex Emery. I'm going to give 4 salient points here. First of all, last night George Norrie was busy on Mars when he should have been talking to Alex Jones about Milwaukee.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Secondly, I'm so military you wouldn't even understand it if we spent 10 days together at the campground. We want to know if this guy was a specialist or an officer. There's a big difference. And I love my officers, and I still got a couple. And thirdly, when they choreograph news reports, whether it's 9/11 or Waco or Oklahoma City, it looks like a duck and it tastes like a duck, and you don't have to second guess your common sense, Health Ranger.
That's right. No, it all looks staged. I mean, it does look staged from the very get-go, and then they just repeat the stage story over and over again. But you know, TJ, people buy into it. Why do people believe this so easily? What do you think?
The enemy is a stupid fool. The devil is a deceptive fool, and he thinks everybody else is too. And the devil has come to ground, Mike. He has come to ground out of the chemtrails. And if Alex Emery ain't on with George Norrie tonight, I'll shut all my radios off. But here's the deal, Ranger Mike. I want you to stay. You're not military either, but I'm so military you wouldn't even have a clue. And I'm a defensive military constitutionalist, and I'm looking at Jay Rutledge, who signed the Constitution, and that blood is running through my veins, Mike.
Yeah.
To this day, and you can check it out. And I'm sure the government, my big abomination brother, has checked it out. I can bring helicopters in here any minute. However, we got to go to India. India is important if you watch the Olympics. And if you will recall, and I hope you got some real sharp listeners, God, you're doing good.
Well, thank you, TJ. Thank you, TJ. I appreciate your comments, and you're right. India is a of strategic importance. There may be elements here of why a Sikh temple in particular was targeted, of course, with the ties of the religion to many people in India today. I'm not aware of any reason why that would be part of an agenda yet, but something may come out. But thank you for your call, TJ. Very good points. Let's go to another caller, Johnny in Pennsylvania with the Army and National Guard. Johnny, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hi, Mike. You're doing a fantastic job sitting in for Alex.
Thank you, Johnny.
Real quick, Mike, I want to know why the Southern Poverty Law Center is being repeatedly referenced by media, not just media, but right-wing media like the Daily Caller, as an objective source giving us insights into what this guy was doing in that neo-Nazi organization.
You know, I got a theory on this. That's a great question. Stay on the line. I want to talk to you some more. But the theory is that we are now seeing the division. We're seeing people are lining up with their true alliances. We are seeing on the conservative talk shows, on conservative media, we're now seeing many people selling out to the agenda of gun disarmament, of gun control. And they are, you're right, some of them are quoting the Southern Poverty Law Center and sort of propping them up as a credible organization. And that's bewildering, but you're seeing it now. You're going to know whose side people are really on. I'm on the side of liberty. That's my position. It sounds like yours. What your thoughts? Go ahead.
Absolutely, Mike. This really concerns me, and if I'm not mistaken, Alex has shown the Southern